What's up, Wednesday Night Live? We are live up here in YouTube land, and we're out
Yes.
here in Instagram land. I'm turning down my volume on Instagram because I want to see how everybody's doing up in here. But
Yeah.
Reed, you feeling all right?
Oh, dude, I'm feeling great. I
Can
was
you
just checking
believe?
out IG as well. It's not.
Is it not happening? Oh, it just takes a second to catch up. It just takes a second to
Yeah.
catch up since it's such a lag. But now we should be good to go. We got Instagram happening. We got YouTube happening, like I just mentioned. We're 5 episodes in, Reed.
5.
This is
It's
crazy.
crazy that it's been that long.
Dude, it feels weird, right?
It doesn't like. Yeah. I don't know. It's like it's bizarre to me that it's been that long that we haven't been together,
Right.
like in the building in
Totally.
that long that we've been doing this for you know.
It's
So,
so
but
weird.
but I'm super grateful. I'm grateful
Yeah.
that we have these Wednesday night moments. I mean, this is what a blessing.
Seriously. And I just want to give a shout out to the guys in Nick Jeter's family group who shaved their heads in camaraderie with Nick. Nick's
Incredible.
a family group leader. Had surgery, had to shave his head, and just to kind of say, "We're with you, Nick." They shaved their heads, so shout out to those guys. It's pretty lit.
Yeah, dude. Family groups. Family groups. If you're not in a family group, DM us. Say something in the comments on YouTube. Let us know. We'd love to get you in a family group. There's just so much power in that. So
For real,
heck yeah.
dude. Okay, what do we
Well,
got? You usually throw questions out.
yeah.
Episode
Yeah.
five. What
These
do
are
we
things
got
that I've
going
been
on?
thinking of. I,
Okay.
I was thinking. I was thinking this week, and it like we've asked like what's your go-to quarantine snack and stuff like that. But I was thinking about this, and you guys play along in the comments. If you had to eat just one food, you could only eat one food for the rest of quarantine, however long that goes. If you could only eat one food, you had to narrow it down. What would that be? What would your food be? Food of choice. It's the only thing you can eat in quarantine. What would
Can,
your food of choice?
can McDonald's be it?
I guess you could say a restaurant. Yeah. You can say, yeah. So you could vary it.
McDonald's, if they though it's not my favorite, if I was to
Yeah.
choose just one place to go, it would be that because let me just throw out Jonathan Pickens is squirming right now because he'd say
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A, which is totally bogus. You'd be
Yeah.
55 years old and throwing up because you have to eat chicken.
Yeah.
You got the burgers, which are awesome, the fries,
Yeah.
duh. You got all that. But come on, if you're just tired of that, you got a McRib. You got
McRib, dude.
breakfast all day. You got the fish fillet.
Yeah.
You got
Fish
desserts. You
fillet.
got you got the you got desserts, and
What's
you
your
got the
order?
McCafe. Come on,
Yeah. Bro, that's not a bad that like
it's
hot
not
take,
bad.
but
I'm looking at
that's
comments on
actually
Instagram right now.
yeah. I was about to say, I'm like, so people are talking about shrimp and grits. I'm like, you would get tired of shrimp and grits so fast. You would
I
be
want to
so
see if
done with shrimp
Jonathan.
and grits.
I want to see if Jonathan's in here at all. I saw him earlier. Chick-fil-A over McDonald's all day.
Jonathan's already saying that
Bogus.
if we did McDonald's for all of quarantine, we'd be throwing up tonight.
No way, dude. Someone
Jonathan,
said
I
zebra
have the
cakes.
stomach
Ryan
of a
Clay.
billy goat. Could for sure do it.
Burrito
Oh,
from Moe's, Waffle
Bojangles.
House. Let's see. Cadbury mini eggs. What?
I slick could probably do Panda Express the whole time.
Panda, 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 panda.
Panda. Yeah, dude, I could. I think I could probably do Panda Express the whole time.
All right,
But
we got
McDonald's,
a good
I
stuff.
didn't think about McDonald's, but I could probably do Panda the whole time.
Okay, well, that's my answer.
Yeah.
All you guys got great answers. Do we have another question, or is that
Yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So another thing that I was thinking about, because this week I had to get outside, dude. I got outside for like all day Saturday, and I was wondering in the comments, let us know. But what is your like go to activity that doesn't involve you getting online? So your offline activity of choice. Reading a book? Is it exercise? Is it uh long walks in the park? You know what I'm saying? Like what's your go-to outside, like away from a screen
Yeah.
activity?
What's
What do
yours?
we got? Man, so like if I had some people around more, it would be like I got to get out and like throw a football in the cul-de-sac.
How does Miles do with a
Or
football?
Miles is not an athlete.
No,
I'm
it's
not gonna lie to you.
Blakely is the athlete.
Blakely, my
Yeah.
daughter is the athlete. Miles has feet for hands. Just yeah, exactly, dude.
Like
Just
cat hands.
I end up just hitting him in the face, and then I feel bad, but I'm also laughing.
We got
So,
guitar,
ooh, I
puzzles,
like drawing, spike ball, ooh,
painting.
chipping in the backyard, nice. Painting, yeah, yeah. My wife likes to doodle. She doodles on the iPad,
Really?
so that's good.
I do. So mine's the walking. Me and Meg and Jonah go on a
Yep,
walk pretty much every day. It's a necessity at
yep,
this point for our sanity and for his.
yep,
He's teething right now, and
yep.
so the amount of crying Reed today
All time high,
was just
all
it
time
was an
high,
all time high. Yeah,
bro. I'm 3 kids in. I know your
you
pain.
know, dude. Pokemon Go says
I
Greg.
That's a screen.
That doesn't count. He thinks
I'm
just
like,
because
unless
you're
you're
outside.
actually finding Pokemon, like, did you actually find a Pokemon? Like, what? Not on a screen, you fool. Oh my gosh.
He's out there like
He's,
Mewtwo.
he's out there throwing tennis balls that are painted like Pokeballs. Greg. Oh my god.
Dude, that sniped me so
Oh
hard.
my gosh. I like it.
Oh my gosh, that's so good.
Dang. Dang.
Oh, breathing.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that
All
the
right.
final question? Or are we
Yeah, that
ready?
I mean, I like what everybody's saying. We got a bunch of things: baking, skateboarding, which I'm terrible on a skateboard. Yeah, so we're getting some good comments. I
I
like
like it.
it, but I think we got a little game that you and I started last week.
Ooh, guys, it's a game, and we have a new graphics package for it that I'm very excited
Come
about.
on,
It's a game called Cool, Not Cool.
cool. There we go. There we go.
Cool
There we
or
go.
not cool. There we go.
Love it.
Guys, how do you like them apples? I'm excited about that. Okay. So the premise is that we started this last week. I don't know how much longer we can go on because we're running out of cool stuff. Um,
Yeah.
but we are going around our house. We're trying to find cool things that we want to pitch to you guys, kind of like Shark Tank, and figure out in the comments whether or not these items are cool
Or
not
cool.
cool. So I have some 2 items. Reed's got 2 items. Reed, do you want to go first, and we can see what we got
I can
going
go
on here?
first. I can go first. This item, I honestly like, regardless of what anybody says, it's cool to me. This is one of my favorite things. This would be one of my activities away from a screen, and it's this right here, Joe. This
What
is
is
a
that?
zip chip.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't even tell at the beginning. A
It
zip chip
is
is awesome.
a zip chip, and I got the zip chip. I had a friend of mine in the neighborhood. We were social distancing, so we were a good, 100 feet away, but
Uh-huh.
throwing this zip chip this weekend.
You might have seen it
And
on Justin Bieber's Instagram, maybe. Ever
this
heard of
is
him?
amazing. So, cool or not cool? What do we got? Cool or not
I'm
cool?
gonna go ahead and say that it's very cool.
Be cool.
So me and
Cool.
you, we throw in Jonathan and Jody. She got on the train a little bit.
Pickens already.
He got
We're
that
getting
zip
lots
chip.
of cools.
So you get the zip chip in the hand, and you zing it like
Yep.
a little mini frisbee. Super
Yeah.
fun.
Sort of like you're skipping rocks.
Yep.
Less dangerous. And it's
Okay,
awesome.
we got a very
Wow,
cool.
Mary Charles, 4 out of 10.
I will
Come
say it's
on.
not like a big spectacle. It's more like an experience.
It is so fun, though.
So fun, no.
So fun. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so it looks like everybody's giving a cool. Like I didn't really
Yeah.
see much not cool. So we're
Besides
gonna give
Mary
that.
Charles, which
We're
cool.
gonna give that a cool right here. Thumbs up.
Yep.
Bing. It's working right there. Other side. It's to your left.
This side,
Closer to
There
your
we
head.
go.
I'm waiting for you to hit it. There it is. Okay. Okay, so my first item
we got
is a little nostalgic.
okay.
And it's something that it's becoming more popular because it's nostalgic, especially the look of it, but nobody knows the depths of it. I have right here
is it-
my
Oh,
original CD Walkman.
yeah.
The original CD Walkman. You have G protection with anti-skip mode.
So that way you could run around with it.
I
and
could
it wouldn't
run around
skip.
with this. You open up
Yeah,
this
dude.
bad boy. You put a CD
Oh, for
in
sure.
there. And just
Yeah.
to double down on this, I found my CD case that I had through my high school career.
Wow.
Let's take a look at some of these bad boys. Guys, you used to just carry these around in cars.
These are all burned CDs, right? These are all
burned
mixed
CDs.
tapes,
We got
man.
the mix of the gods. I don't even know what's on that. We got
Probably
Coldplay,
some metal.
some Dave Matthews Band, Muse,
Wow.
Audio Slave, Jimmy Eat World, Charlie Hall, a lot of Incubus. I was big into Incubus.
Hey, Incubus, they were awesome back
We
in the
got Dave
day.
Matthews as well. So what do we think? Are we doing cool or not cool? So
Wow.
cool. Those things rock. Brett Yonker gives a thumbs up, which means a lot to me. Jogproof
Wow.
vintage? He's the question mark. Dope. We got some not cools. Drew says not cool. It's okay. You can be honest. Not cool. Sorry, Joe. Chris Chula says not cool. Okay. We are getting some cools by people
Yeah.
that matter to me. So at least
Yeah.
if this is an L, it's
Most
not in
of
my
these
street.
are cool. We got a few not cools, but mostly cool.
So what do we think? Cool. Not cool?
I'll give it a cool.
Pretty cool. Can we give it a pretty cool?
I give it a pretty cool.
All
Yeah.
right.
I mean that was for sure me. Like, I mean, I definitely, that's my era.
Joel said OG iPod would be cool. Sorry. I'm like, this is before.
Joel Houston.
Yeah, Joel Houston's in the chat.
Joel
Happy
Osteen.
New Year.
Happy New Year.
Okay. So, pretty cool.
Now, this is a strange item. I'm not going to lie. I've been looking around for some things.
Okay.
And this is something that that I have for when I get stressed out, and it's a balance tester, Joe. Have you ever seen these? So you have to try to get them.
Are those the magic stairs from Harry Potter?
Look at this. Yes, watch. You try to get them all lined up, but they move, and it's annoying, but then also like strangely satisfying when you can get them all to line up. But obviously,
it's kind of like watching.
Terrible.
It's kind of like watching like the DVD thing bounce.
Oh yeah, waiting for it to hit the corner.
And then it goes, bink.
This is but it's not happening. But this is, I don't know what people are saying. What do we got?
Okay, we got some cools, totally awesome. Not a lot happening in Instagram right now. We got an all caps stop. Okay, Sarah says that's way cool. I was gonna give it a not cool. Until you said that. Until you nailed it.
Felt good. Felt good.
I'm seeing cool. There are some not cools coming in the chat. Jacob Hancock says, "Nah, fam. Cool but frustrating." Somebody said, and then Sarah
is frustrating.
Sarah says, "Wait, is Reed a wizard?" ?
I am.
The magic stairs from Harry Potter.
Gryffindor.
Look, no. Meg said me quoting the magic stairs from Harry Potter made it cool.
Oh, there it is. Well, I'll receive that.
Okay, so we got it. That's a cool. That's a W. 8 out of 10.
Nice. I was not sure about that one, but I'm glad. Thank you for the love.
You're really not sure for this one because I'm not sure about this guy right here.
Okay.
But this is something, a companion to you no matter where you're at, to help give you a soundtrack that you've been waiting for. This
lots of musical.
Is a sound machine that
but not like a baby one.
No, this provides different things. Like if you do something great.
Ah, okay.
Or why is that so long? Okay, here we go.
Little laugh track.
Be
honest. Is there a fart noise? Okay. Cool. It's cool. It's cool. I love it. I'm for sure. I would have that in the meeting. Like that's, yeah. People are. We got a couple. What was that one?
We got this one. Listen.
Oh wow! So in case somebody's breaking into your house.
Or drum roll, please.
Wow.
Cool item right there. That's a cool item.
How long have you had that?
I actually found it in the office. So this is before I went to go to the office to get my monitor. And I found it in my desk. And I grabbed it thinking, I'm going to need this for some reason. And it was for cool, not cool.
It's amazing.
All right, we got...
Yep. Someone said the fart made it cool. I agree with you. With you, Joshua.
Jeffrey says Joe needs fake people to laugh at his jokes. Dead emojis. Wow. Dang, dude, feels bad. All right,
Dylan
so
said the same thing. The fart made it cool.
the fart made it cool. So I think,
Yeah.
what if we said the thing isn't cool, but the fart noise is cool?
A fart noise maker is cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Said
Next time
every
you say-
guy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So fart noise is cool. The item's not cool. All right.
Right. Yeah.
Deal.
Okay.
Okay. So guys, just a little insight. Me and Reed do not talk about what we're going to bring on the show. We really, really don't. But we were on the phone talking about different things, and we're like, man, struggling a little bit to find cool, not cool items. And then Reed kind of slipped up and said something, and I was like, wait a minute. I also have that thing. So we're going to do a final cool, not cool with like double time. Me and Reed are going to present the same items.
Yeah.
And figure out if it's cool or not cool.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Bro.
We got swords.
Why do we both have these? This is like from Lord of the Rings.
Dude, it is. It's Aragorn's sword. My dad got it for me, like a rite of passage, like he said.
Is unreal. This one is not that. This one was like at a church retreat.
Sword of the Spirit, dude.
This one is this one, but it is large.
440 stainless from China.
Yeah. Boom.
We got it right here. What are we thinking?
Cool. Are we saying, not cool?
Okay, we got some yeses. Yeses, cool.
Yeah.
We are all 10-year-olds inside. I think that's still about the fart joke. We got definitely cool.
Oh, yeah.
Cool and cool. Jay and Catherine Wolf are in the building, too. So,
did they think that the swords were cool, though?
I'm going to go ahead and say that they thought the fart noise was cool. I guarantee it.
Yeah. Wait. Maddie said, I'm concerned why you have those. I'm like, don't be concerned. This is just in case.
So many cools. I haven't seen a not cool yet.
Yes.
Chris
gotta
Chula,
have a sword.
Of course, says, read all caps, I have that sword.
Amazing. Chula.
You have a cool item. Knight. All right, Caden, get in front of your screen. I'm going to knight Caden right now because he wanted to get knighted. I dub thee. Knight
Sir.
Sir Caden.
Yeah. Sir Caden, Knight of Passion Students.
There you are, sir.
Yeah.
All right. There we go. That thus ends cool or not cool.
That was a great one. I feel really good about that.
That was a great cool or not cool. We're going to go back to the normal setting here.
Yep.
Okay, so Reed.
Yep.
Episode 5.
Tonight.
We got some great things happening. Not only do we have a great guest, but we got a great surprise announcement happening at the end.
Yep. Well, I'm really excited for our guest tonight because it's one of my best friends in the whole world. He was the student pastor at Brownsbridge, which is up in Forsyth. And then since then, he's become an author. He's a traveling speaker. He does student camps, and not this summer, but you know what I mean? And so he does so much stuff, traveling, speaking, investing in people, and creating student content. And he's one of the best dudes that I know. And so I'm excited for us to bring on, one of my best friends, Gerald Fadayomi. We can get him on here, Gerald.
I texted him to bring him in.
Yep.
So maybe, here we go, baby. Admit.
Here we go.
Let's see if we can get him in here. Zoom. Am I right?
Yep. Here we go.
Okay,
Let's get
Gerald.
this man Gerald in here. Gerald.
He's loading in from the
Yo.
Let's go.
There we go. What's up, Gerald?
I need to say for the record, Joe Grimm, the Walkman, super dope.
Very
the CDs,
cool.
Super whack.
The what? The CDs were whack?
CD collection was not it.
Gerald would have preferred. He would have preferred the more hip hop genre.
Hey, I had dude, you're gonna laugh at me. I think
Incubus does not count as hip hop.
I think one of the only hip hop CDs I had in there was the Beastie Boys, Greatest Hits,
which is the white rappers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Joe
further proves my point of it not being cool.
Okay. Hey man, 16-year-old me. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, for sure. Well, Gerald, obviously you and I know you well. We've been good friends for the past, 5 years. But for everybody else that's tuning in, all of our students and leaders that are watching, I want to take a second just for everybody to get to know you a little bit. And so I wanted to ask you some questions to help everyone get to know you a little bit better. So here's some questions. Early riser or night owl?
I am a night owl that is trying to become an early riser, and it is not working. I've been trying for like
It's a
4
struggle
years.
bus.
Said
Yeah.
every
I was
night
about to
owl
say.
ever.
Yep. Yeah. So night
There's
owl.
something about creativity that actually happens at night. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Totally.
I mean, some of our best sermons get written
Right.
in the wee hours. Talk to me. Instagram or YouTube?
Instagram for sure.
Instagram. Nike or Adidas?
Nike or who?
Yeah, exactly.
Is there another brand?
He's checks over stripes all the way. All right, around the house. Exactly. Around the house, are you sweatpants or gym shorts?
Gym shorts for sure. 100%.
Cook at home or order takeout?
I'm gonna say cook at home.
Cook at home. Okay. Show that you're currently binge watching right now.
I'm gonna sound so lame, bro, because we just decided to not watch TV in our house. So I haven't watched anything for like the last 8 days.
Dang.
What was the last thing that you watched?
Yeah.
The last thing I watched was a show called All American on Netflix.
Oh yeah, was that good?
Yeah,
I keep seeing it.
Yeah.
I watched both seasons in 1 week.
I've seen a lot of people talk about
Dang
it.
dog, you really did need a break.
Yeah. That's it. All right. Worship song that's on repeat for you right now.
Tootsie Slide.
That's not a worship song, bro. Worship song.
I'm just playing. Nothing Else by Cody Carnes is definitely like the #1 repeat right now for me.
Great song.
Man. At conference, and then when he came to the 5.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. That song, man, that hits. Cool. Well, yeah, hopefully that lets y'all get to know Gerald just a little bit better. Now, I mean, thanks for jumping in with us, but quarantine, Gerald, has obviously been challenging for all of us in different ways and to varying degrees. For some people, it's been really personally challenging. For some people, it's just been annoying. For some people, it's been a huge disruption. For some people, it's been a welcome distraction. But it's been, kind of a change of the norm. But for you and your wife, Kylie, it's been especially difficult. Talk to us about, kind of share your quarantine experience so far.
Yeah, do you want the short, the medium, or the long version of this?
I mean, yeah, don't give the super long version. Like, let the people know what's been going on. But yeah.
Yeah, because it'd be cool to walk through it a little bit, like section by section, maybe.
Yeah, totally. So I went on a trip to Colorado, hung out with a bunch of pastors. Shout out to my boy Brad Lominick. It was a great time. Got back from the trip and was feeling completely fine. My wife and I went to a doctor's appointment. At that point, she was like 37 and a half weeks pregnant. And so, or not 37, sorry, 33 and a half weeks pregnant. And so we were getting close. We're having twins, identical twin girls. We knew they were coming. If you don't know this, my wife is white, I'm black. So mixed twin baby girls on the way, right? Like, we're super excited about it.
Some little caramel macchiato. Yeah.
So I get back on that Friday. That Monday, we have a doctor's appointment. When we go, everything's good. I come home from the doctor's appointment and I get a fever, like out of nowhere. Just comes out of the blue. I start having body aches, chills, a headache, and I just feel terrible. And this is like right when all of the corona stuff is kind of blowing up across our country and everyone's talking about it and they're canceling flights. Everyone's taking it seriously. And so I quarantined myself into my bedroom, into my guest bedroom, because I didn't want my wife to get sick being pregnant with twins, right? Yep. And so I'm in the room. It gets to about like midnight. I'm like, hey, I think I should get the test, like just to be sure, just to make sure we're good. And so I drive down to the hospital, take the test, 1 o'clock in the morning. I leave the hospital at 4 a.m. and they tell me I'm going to get my corona test results back in 24 to 48 hours. So that was Monday night. Tuesday, my wife starts feeling sick as well. And so she calls her doctor, and the doctor's like, hey, we think you should come in. She was like, hey, I think I'm fine. Like, I'm not going to worry about it. The next morning, they call her back and they're like, hey, we noticed you didn't come in. Like, we really think you should come in. And so she drove herself down to the hospital, very pregnant, gets to the hospital. They put her in like a back corner because they know about my situation and they're worried that I might have coronavirus. And so they go to give her a corona test, and she calls me, puts me on speaker, and the doctor's like, hey, we're gonna give you a corona test, and then we're just gonna do a quick check, make sure that the babies are good. There's no way that you guys are having babies right now. Worst case scenario, you guys have it, you'll be fine in 14 days, and then you'll have the babies, like everything will be good. So that's what they tell us, and about 30 seconds later, I hear him over speaker go, hey, so y'all are having babies today. And I'm quarantined into my guest room at this point, right?
Yeah.
So I get in the car, I speed down there. I'm like, hey, I'm coming. Like, nothing's going to keep me out of the hospital. I get down there. I get a call from the hospital, and they're like, hey, we got to ask you some questions. They run through all the questions. And essentially they tell me like, hey, because you're waiting on a corona test, we can't let you in the hospital. So if there's someone else that you want to support your wife, you're going to have to call someone else to come down, but you're not going to be able to be here for the birth of your so that was obviously really hard, really difficult situation. My mom gets down there and she's with Kylie. About an hour later, I find out in my backyard, I drove back home, pacing around the backyard, found out that my twin girls had entered the world. So yeah, man. So missed the birth of my girls due to waiting on a corona test. It was super hard. Especially because like my dad wasn't around growing up, you know? And so like that moment was so important to me. You know, so find out that I'm not gonna be able to be there. Girls are born. On Friday, Kylie and I actually get our corona test results back, and we're both negative. And yeah, man, huge blessing. And so I get in the car, I drive down. We meet the girls for the first time that Friday. We hang out with them, hold them. It's amazing, beautiful little girls. I'll show y'all a picture at some point.
Hey, you know it's good. While you're talking, I'm going to show some photos.
Love it. So yeah, so we get to meet them. We hang out with them until Saturday night. We drive home. We're discharged from the hospital. And then Sunday, we go back to see them. We hang out for like 5 hours. They're in the NICU, by the way. So because they were born early, they have to be in the NICU to just work on eating and stuff. And so I come back home on Sunday after we see the girls. We come back home, and then we get another call from the hospital, and they're like, hey, we're really sorry to tell you this, but we have to shut down the hospital, the NICU, the hospital for 3 weeks, or not for 3 weeks, I'm sorry, indefinitely. Because of coronavirus. And so for 3 weeks, we weren't able to see our girls. We actually just saw them again in person for the first time on Easter Sunday. Which, you know, but it's been a crazy month of life for us, for sure.
Yeah. Definitely not the way you expected it, huh?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah. Man. Yeah, I think that's like, we got lots of people tuning in that this wasn't maybe the 2020 that they were thinking, you know what I mean? And for you, that's crazy. Like I literally can't imagine, you know, like not being able to be there. And you and I, we talked on the phone through some of that. But as I'm thinking about it, what, you know, you and I, we've talked a little bit about this, but what's helped like you and Kylie kind of stay sane, stay grounded in the midst of all this, like kind of plans blowing up in your face and things not going, you know what I mean? Like what's been the thing that's helped you stay grounded?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like our faith in Jesus, right? Like, it's crazy that we got to see them on Easter, because the only hope that we had in it was an empty grave. Jesus rose from the dead, so we have hope, and we know that there's a God who's for us, who's with us, who's on our side. And so like we're leaning in and we're trusting. And I remember like a specific moment standing in my backyard, like literally like weeping, crying out to God on that Thursday morning, going, like, God, please, like, help. I need you. I didn't even have very many words. It was just like, help, like, Jesus, please help. You know, and so leaning on Jesus and trusting him, you know, but I'd say second to that, right? Like second to Jesus, the best thing that God has given us is us, right? Like it's community. It's
I like
friends.
that. I like that. Say that again.
Yeah. Second to following Jesus, the best thing that God has given us is us.
Wow.
And so having a community of people who follow Jesus as well, who you can pick up the phone and call and go, hey man, today's a tough day. Hey, I'm going through this. Hey, I need help with this. Hey, honestly, like I'm ready to give up at this point. Like I don't know what to do. Hey, I'm frustrated with God right now, right? Like having a place where you can go, hey, I'm hurting and I need help. And having some other people who trust in the same God as you, who can go, hey, I got you. I'm with you. I'm praying with you. Who'll stay on the phone with you. Who'll cry with you. Who'll lift you up when you're falling down. That's definitely been the thing that's helped Kylie and I the most. Second to Jesus, you know.
Well, tell me this, like when your emotions are so crazy in this season, I'm sure everybody who's listening has felt like maybe their emotions are kind of going out of control, and they've gotten themselves in a position where they've just kind of cried out with like just crying out to God, maybe not in even complete sentences, kind of like what you're saying. But what does it look like when like that kind of like, I don't know, turmoil or just situation in your life where things are going crazy meets a Jesus community? Like what are moments of intersection right there? And what did that look like for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's hope, man. Like it's hope in the simplest forms, like hope in a text message, hope in a phone call, hope in honestly, like I posted what was going on Instagram, and like the number of comments and texts that came in was like, man, like yo, there's people who are for me and who are with me. But that isn't just about like knowing that you have friends. It's more about a tangible expression of God's love that you feel in that moment. Going like, gosh, man, like God's created this beautiful thing called community that allows other people to lift you up when you can't hold yourself up, you know?
Yeah.
That's
I think
awesome.
Joe, like what I like what you were saying. I almost was like, what were some ways, Gerald, like for you and Kylie, like beyond like, the text message and stuff, like what were some of the ways that your community did show up for you?
Yeah. Gosh, I mean, I had a friend who came over and cut our grass for us because didn't get out to do that.
That's awesome.
Seriously.
A little bit later, I'll talk about like some things that we were able to do for the hospital because of some friends who showed up. I mean, just honestly, like it's hard to do a lot physically right now. I had friends like, I'll risk getting corona and I'll just come sit in your house to be with you. And I'm like, yo, chill, don't do that. Like, let's keep everyone safe. You know what I mean? But just sitting on the phone, talking to me, FaceTiming me. My small group, like I'm in a men's group. We all did a small group on that Monday and just talked to each other on the phone. And so, just being present and being around, you know?
Yeah.
What about, talk a little bit about the power of community, like you just mentioned. Like we all understand that like community is important, and we kind of like have that in our church lingo and DNA. And we've seen, I mean, even in what you're saying, the power of community in just the way like it's a tangible expression of Jesus's love towards you through people. But you're kind of tiptoeing into it a little bit. Maybe go a little bit more into just like the power of community that has showed up in your life, but you've been able to express to the people around you.
Yeah. So Reed and I were talking about this a few days ago, right? Like I've actually really been digging into why community is so important in these days. My wife and I had a long conversation about it.
Unpack it for us.
And there's kind of like four big things that I see that are helpful about community. I'm sure there's like plenty more that we can talk about, but there's kind of four big things. Like one, community is meant to be helpful. And when community is right, it is, right? Like if you think about what Paul wrote in Galatians 6, like carry each other's burdens and thus fulfill the law of Christ, right? And so the law of Christ is that love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, and soul, love your neighbor as yourself. So when we serve and care for each other and we carry the burdens of our friends, when we carry the burdens of the guys in our small group, the girls in our small group, like when we carry the burdens of each other, we're literally living out what Jesus called us to do by loving each other well. And so like during this season for us, man, like there's been moments where it's just been really heavy. And there's been moments where we've been really frustrated, and just being able to call and go, hey, will you pray with me for this? Will you be in this season, in this with me? You know, like that's been super helpful. The thing that's kind of ironic about that idea though from Paul is that when you're going through something, like when you're burdened and when life is heavy, the last thing that you want to do is let someone carry it with you, right? Like honestly, for me at least, I want to go sit in my room. I want to listen to Drake. And not like to my Drake, like Marvin's Room Drake. You know what I mean?
Get up
like,
in your feelings, Drake.
I want to turn my lights off and just like be alone. Or honestly, like for some of us, maybe you do want to talk to someone, but you don't want to put your burdens on them. And so you just kind of carry them by yourself because you're like, I don't want to stress somebody else out with what I have going on.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of counterintuitive to go like, hey, carry each other's burdens. Oftentimes, like we want to carry our burdens ourselves. And so I think it's really important for us to just make the decision like, hey, I'm going to lean into community, even though it's not easy. Because what we find every time is that it's worth it. And every time that you ask someone for help, most times, especially in Christian community, you're going to find friends and other believers who are going to go, I got you, I'm with you, I'm praying with you, I'm coming over, like, what do you need? I'm here to help, I'm going to carry the load with you. And when they do that, the load becomes a little bit more bearable, even when things are really hard. So one, like community being helpful, I think is a big idea for us to learn.
Yeah. Keep unpacking it.
You
said you had 4 things.
Helpful.
I'm like, bro, you got one?
So hopeful. Second, I'd say is community is meant to be healing, right? You think about James, the half brother of Jesus, which is crazy for a second. Like, just think about that. For your brother to convince you that he's God, I mean, right? Like, that's a nuts idea. And so for James to come to the realization that Jesus was Lord and to follow him is wild. But James wrote this in James 5:16. He said, confess your sins to each other and pray for each other that you may find healing. For the earnest prayers of a righteous person has great power and produces wonderful results. And so I think community is meant to be healing. And the reality of the situation that we're all in right now is we find ourselves more isolated than a lot of us may have ever been. And isolation plus temptation is like a recipe for sin. It's a recipe for destruction. It's a recipe for us doing things that we never intended to do and going places that we never meant to go. And I would just imagine, like, students who are watching, for some of you, like, maybe you're in a spot where you're dealing with temptation that you've never dealt with before because you're isolated. Maybe you're in a spot where, like, you had picked a habit, but now that habit is back because you're in isolation and you don't know what else to do. Or maybe you're in a spot like you've had a temptation and you've been, like, trying to battle it for a while, but now it's, like, elevated because you're alone. And so isolation temptation is going to take us places that we never meant to go. It's going to lead us to do things that we don't really want to do. It's a recipe for sin. But the beautiful thing is we get a chance to fight back against it, right? Like we can fight back against sin. We can fight back against temptation. And the way we do that is to fight isolation by being in community. And when we lean into community in that way, I think we find healing. Oftentimes the enemy, like, he'll use shame as the mechanism to keep us from leaning in and confessing what's going on and telling people that we need help or telling people that we're struggling with something. And he'll make you feel like, if I tell someone, then they're going to judge me. Or if I tell them, they're going to look down on me. If I tell them, they're not going to think that I'm like the good Christian that everyone thinks that I am. And so I'm alone in isolation and I can figure out how to beat it on my own. And it just grows, right? Like what you don't show always grows. And so if you keep hiding it and you keep trying to deal with it on your own, it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And so we fight back against it with community. And the recipe for healing is community plus accountability. It's going, hey, I have a group of people who are for me. I'm going to let them into what I'm wrestling with. And I'm going to let them hold me accountable to be more like Jesus. And in that, we grow, we get better, we become more like Jesus, and we find like a deeper relationships with the people around us, and people can help us up. When we confess, we're afraid that we'll find shame. But actually what happens is we find help, right? Because community is meant to be helpful. So helpful, healing. The third thing is life-giving. And I just feel like we've already been kind of heavy talking about community. It's like, it's helpful and it's healing. Like, let's just for a second realize and understand, like, community is fun. And it doesn't always have to be heavy. It doesn't always have to be weighty. It doesn't always have to be like 4-hour Bible studies and like secrets, right? Like, community can be literally like what's cool, what's not cool. Community could be like jumping on a house party or jumping on a FaceTime and hanging out. Community could be like going to a movie together. Y'all can't do that right now, but doing like a watch party on Netflix.
Netflix watch party, bro.
And then playing 2K. If I still had my Xbox, I'd smoke anyone who wants to play 2K, who wants to smoke, who can get it. Right, but like community doesn't always have to be heavy. It's just hanging out, it's building relationships, it's getting to know each other, and just spending time together and laughing together and just having a good time. And here's why that's so important. Like, that seems like so like minuscule and so like amateur, but the reason it's so important is those times of just laughing together, hanging out together, like doing life together,
Yep.
You build trust in those moments, right?
Yep.
The
Yep.
more trust that you have, the easier it is for you to go back to someone and go, hey man, like we have a good time together. Can I just let you know, like I'm really struggling with this. This has been something
Yep.
that's been difficult for me. Or hey, like my parents are going through a divorce and it's like super heavy on me. And I've been praying for a miracle, but like I honestly, like I don't have the energy to pray anymore. Could you pray with me in this? You know what I mean? Like it's
Yep.
easier to take your burdens to someone else or to confess something to someone else when you've built some trust and relationship over time. And so it can be life-giving, it can be fun. It's just good to be able to laugh together and do life together. So we got
Yep.
helpful, we got healing, we got life-giving, and then lastly is impactful. And as I was thinking about this idea, I just kept going back to what Jesus said in Matthew 5, where he said, you are the light of the world. He's talking to his disciples, Sermon on the Mount. And he says, a town built on a hill cannot be hidden, neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on a stand and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. And so I've just been like, thinking about this idea that, like your community can impact the community at large.
Yeah.
And
I like that.
Like your group of friends could impact the neighborhood that you live in, could impact the school that you go to, could impact like the people around you, those who are hurting, those who are desperate, those who are in need. Like we have power to impact the people around us. And Jesus like made it super simple. He goes, go do good deeds for other people and go make a difference. And in making a difference, people will notice there's something different about that group of people. Why are they the way they are? Why do they love the way that they love? And they will have to point back to God and give glory to Him.
Yeah.
Point back and go, man, like there's something different about them, and there has to be something different about their God. And so I think it's really cool, the idea that like our community could impact the community at large. I told you I'll tell you a little bit about like some things that we were able to do for the hospital through our community. The doctor first told us, like when we were getting ready to leave, the doctor was like, hey, like most people do this thing called meal train. If you don't know what that is, it's like your friends and family will send meals to your house that you like don't have to worry about cooking while you're trying to take care of babies, whatever. And they were like, hey, due to coronavirus, like we would just suggest like do not do a meal train. Don't let anyone bring meals to your house at all. Nothing home cooked. Like it's just super risky. Don't do it. And so all of our friends have been reaching out like, hey, can we send you a meal? Is anyone doing a meal train for you? Like, how can we help? And Kylie and I were just sitting on the couch and Kylie goes, hey, why don't we can't do a meal train, but like restaurant food is okay. It's safe for the most part. Like, what if we sent meals to the nurses who were taking care of our girls? And so we called the hospital and the nurse that was taking care of our girls let us know that there were 30 nurses on the floor. And so every person that reached out, we just said, hey, would you be willing to do a meal for the nurses at the hospital? And we posted it on social media and we had a bunch of people just kind of like pour in like, hey, we'll help. In fact, so many people that we had to say no to some of our friends and be like, yeah, we got it covered. But we asked for 7 days, the whole week leading up to Easter, wanted to provide meals for the nurses. And we actually ended up being able to cover 9 days of lunch in a row for every nurse on the floor of the hospital, as well as breakfast on a couple of days as well, which was pretty cool.
Wow.
And so one of the nights we just called to check in. Yeah, man, it was cool. So we called to check in on our girls on one of the nights. And the nurse was like, hey, thank you guys so much for feeding us. Like, you didn't have to do that. And my wife, Kylie, goes like, hey, we appreciate that, but it's not us. Like, it's our community. And she's like, your community? What community are you a part of? And she was like, oh, well, we're Christians and we go to church. And so like a bunch of people from our church, like asked how they could help. And so we said, hey, would you send meals to the hospital? And she was like, oh my gosh, what church do you go to? Like, I need to go to that church. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's just the idea that like what Jesus said is literally true, that our good deeds will cause people to give glory to Him. And you never know like what's on the other side of that. Literally, eternity could change because your community of friends or family members or whoever decided like, yeah, we're going to make a difference and we're going to be impactful. And so community is helpful, community is healing, community is life-giving, community is impactful. Those are some of the things we've been learning in the middle of this crazy season that we're in right now.
So awesome, man.
I was about to say, there's so much gold in that.
I'm so glad that we keep this up on YouTube because I'm going to need to come back to it. And
seriously.
Same thing with Instagram. So that's such gold. I love, man, just hearing y'all's story, man. It's so crazy, but it's even crazier to see what God's been doing through it. And just seeing and hearing even the story now, just of like how God's been showing up through His church for you guys,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
as someone that has also been the recipient of that kind of love and grace, it is a game changer for your faith when you're the person that's received that kind of love, when you actually have that tangible, you know, love that is shown through the church. It's a game changer for your faith as the recipient, but also as the giver of that kind of
Yeah.
love. It's a game
Totally.
changer for your faith as well. So I think for our students out there, there's an obvious challenge is how can you be that expression of love and be that community for people, but also be okay with being the recipient of that. That's
Yeah.
the way this whole church thing's meant to work. I thought about this scripture as you were talking, and I love this. It's in Ephesians 4, verse 2. It says, "Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love." And
Yeah.
so if you're wondering, yeah, but how do I do that? I mean, these are crazy times. What do I do? And my friend comes to me with like when their world's upside down. I don't know how to handle all that. Well, I tell you how. You be completely humble, you
Good.
be gentle, you be patient, and you bear with them in love. And that sounds like bearing with them, like you kind of have to bear with your older brother or sister or whatever. It's not like that. It's you carrying each other's burdens along and bearing with them in their pain and suffering. And you'll see God do something amazing. You'll see God do something helpful, healing, life-giving, and impactful, dude. And that is what God will do through the church, but it's also what he can do in your and through your life. So I hope that kind of like spurs on some convo in groups as we go in a little bit. But Gerald, dude, thanks for sharing that story. Do you have anything else you want to share with us? A little last thought as we close?
Yeah. I was just gonna say, like, I would imagine there are probably some people who are listening or watching who are going like, yeah, that sounds good. Like a helpful, healing, life-giving, impactful community. That sounds good. I don't have that. Like, I don't have friends who are for me like that. I don't have family who are for me like that. And so, yeah, that sounds good, but like, I don't have it. So cool. I'm going to go back and be isolated again. And I just want to say to you, like, one, you probably have it more than you know. But like experiencing community requires you to lean into community. And so there's some people around you that you just need to get honest with, that you maybe just need to call and go, hey, can we talk? Maybe just a friend that you need to text and go, hey, like, I need a friend right now, honestly. You know what I mean? And it's going to require you to be vulnerable and put yourself out on the line. But like, I'm telling you, on the other side of it, it's so good. Like, there's so much good on the other side. I don't want you to miss it. And so I just say, like, hey, lean in, lean in, lean in. And if you really feel like there's nobody, like, that's what I love about this. It's not just like some online, hey, watch online and then go on about your business. Like, there's going to be groups right after this, and you can literally get in one right now. And they didn't ask me to do like a pitch for, but I think it's so important. Like, I think it's such a big deal. And so if you feel like you don't have community, you don't have people who are with you, who are for you, like, send a DM, let them put you in a group with some people that you don't know. It's going to be some randoms, some strangers, but I'm telling you, like, go through the uncomfort so that you can experience the type of community that we're talking about tonight.
Yeah, totally.
So great, dude.
This is awesome. Joe, also, as a community, we want everyone on here to experience the power of community. But I love what Gerald was talking about his community making a difference. And I was like, you and I have been talking a lot, and our team has been talking a lot. We want our community to also make a difference. Did you want to tell the students about what we got coming up for them?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. The announcement kind of we were talking about, we've been talking with students a lot, and we wanted to do something as a Passion Students family, as a part of our house, of course, but it's really cool to think of what if we just got a bunch of students together and see if we can help some people in our city. So we are teaming up with Passion Students, teaming up with Meals on Wheels, and we're going to have an opportunity to give together and reach a goal to feed how many students? I mean, how many meals are we reaching again, Reed?
Our goal is we want to try to raise, as a Passion Students family, $3,600. The $3,600 would provide 400 meals, 400 meals for elderly and at-risk people. And
imagine
so,
if I said 40, that was not the right one. I was like,
it's not going to be
right.
40 meals. Like, yeah. No, it's going to be 400 meals. Yeah, for elderly and at-risk people, which, I mean, here's the deal. 3,600 is the goal, I think we could probably beat that. But I'm like,
I think so too.
yo, let's go after this and do exactly what Gerald was just talking about, and let's let our community, like as we experience the benefit of it for ourselves, let's let our community then turn around and let's make a difference in our city
Be
and
impactful.
affect what's going on. Yeah, and make an impact. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna have instructions on the screen. If you actually look right down here, it says text Passion students to 44321 to give towards providing meals for the elderly and at-risk people. We're gonna provide 400 meals, people.
Yeah, it's gonna be incredible. So I'm pumped for this. I can't wait to see how this community rallies and makes a difference. It's gonna be incredible, and I can't wait to celebrate it together. And just to see the difference it's gonna make. Gerald, we want to say thank you so much for joining us tonight and for giving us that word, man. I mean, you and I have even been talking about it, and even hearing it tonight was just, it was good for my soul, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So we really appreciate you. Y'all give Gerald some love in the comments.
Come on,
Thank
give
him for
some
joining us
clapping
tonight.
emojis.
Let's get some claps. Let's get some thank yous, some hearts. Let's give him some love for
Hey,
joining us tonight.
one more thing before I run. I just want to say this to Reed. Joe, I love you, obviously. We're boys. But Reed was one of the guys in my wedding. And so when I can sit here and talk to y'all about community and having people who are really for you, I'm talking about like me and this dude talk like 3-4 days a week. And anytime I'm wrestling or struggling, like it's the first person I call. He's helped me become a better husband, I'm going to be a better dad because of our friendship. I'm a better pastor because of him. And so I'm just telling y'all, man, like you never know who God has put in your path to make you better and help you grow. And Reed, I just want to say publicly, like we get to talk privately a lot, but publicly, I just want to say, man, like I'm really grateful for you. You're an incredible dude. You're an incredible pastor. You're an incredible friend. So thanks for loving me. Thanks for being a good friend. Yeah, man, I'm really grateful for you.
Thanks, G. Seriously, love you, dude.
Love.
Yep.
I love it.
That's it.
So
That's it.
Gerald, thank you. I know that we're about to close off here, but again, I want to just reiterate what we got going on down there. We want to be a whatever it takes kind of people. And
That's it.
we talked about it at the Rising, about what it looks like to be whatever it takes kind of people. Jesus did whatever it took to reach us, and we want to do whatever it takes to reach other people. So that's what we're coming around in this season. And I know a lot of you guys are excited about it. I see in all the comments. But yeah, it's pretty lit. I'm excited about it, Reed.
It's going to be awesome. So now's your chance. You guys jump into family groups. Come up with a family group goal for how much you guys want to give and get creative with it. And then, yeah, we're excited for this to happen. And you guys jump into groups. If you're not in a group and you want to jump in a group, say something in the comments, shoot us a DM on Instagram, and we'd love to help you get into a group. We love you guys so much. Thanks for tuning in. Wednesday night live. It's the place to be. Let your friends know next Wednesday to be here. We're going to have some more incredible guests. But we love you guys so much. Have an incredible week. We'll see you on Friday in the Friday follow through. Love y'all.
Go.
Peace.